Hey there guys, my name is Lucas.
And I'm Rebecca.
I'm Anna.
And I'm Mariana.
In this video, we're going to talk about Ebonics, which is also known as African American Vernacular English. We are going to take you through its history, its structure, but more specifically, we will take a look into the study of Ebonics, considering its use in music lyrics from female artists. And why is that?
Ebonics can be mainly noticed in vocal speech, although there are definitely particularities of it in written speech also. And so it is manifested through black singers' music as well, which is what we're going to talk about. We have chosen to talk about female black singers especially. We have decided to take this approach considering how misrepresented black women are in media, so we wanted to talk about Ebonics in a sense of empowerment.
We have chosen artists like Beyoncé, Rihanna, SZA, and Azealia Banks for this work. Many of the lyrics contain Ebonic structure and they topic on issues like women empowerment or black people empowerment. And they also talk about teenage conflict, relationship insecurities. They often portray themes like this with independence and strength, still reassuring their origins. Most of the lyrics carry positive messages or relatable issues.
Put in simple words, Ebonics is simply how most black people talk in USA, how the language is manifested through their speech. The term Ebonics is a blend of the words ebony and phonics. Usually, linguists consider it a dialect and call it Ebonics, African American English, or African American Vernacular English.
Usually, when talking about Ebonics, the first thing that comes to people's minds is that it's only slangs or that it doesn't have any grammatical rules. But that's wrong. For example, words like ashy, which means the whitish appearance of black skin when dry.
Sadly, some people still associate Ebonics to bad English or poor English, which is offensive and demeaning. There are all kinds of linguistic studies concerning Ebonics and how it functions, and most of current linguists consider it a legitimate variation of the language.
Ebonics differs from standard English in many ways, especially when it comes to verb conjugation. People who call it bad English usually act like it's all random errors, but they are unaware that their pronunciation and grammar are systematic and have rules and restrictions just like any other dialect.
In fact, some researchers in the education area, like Teresa Perry, believe that Ebonics should be used and affirmed in classrooms in order to help African American students to learn, since it could also help them learn standard English while not being ashamed of their own speech.
The person who came up with the term Ebonics was Dr. Robert Williams, an African American social psychologist. He wanted to rule out prejudice and inaccurate terms like broken English. So, in 1973, he first used this term, but Ebonics only became public knowledge in 1996.
Ebonics has many origins, and linguists usually divide themselves in three groups when it comes to studying Ebonics origins. Some focus on the English origin of it. They point out that most of Ebonics vocabulary comes from English and a great part of its pronunciation could have come from non-studied dialects of English works with whom African slaves talked in the past.
Other part of linguists focus on the African origin. West African languages don't have the th sound and final consonant clusters, as in past. Replacing or simplifying these two structures is something that happens both in Ebonics and West African English varieties spoken in Ghana and Nigeria.
There are also the linguists who associate Ebonics to Caribbean Creole English. Simplifying the feature marker going to as gone is one of the features from Caribbean Creole that is used in Ebonics. Beyoncé and Nicki Minaj have already used it in some of their songs, like Sorry and The Night Is Still Young.
Caribbean Creole is heavily used in Rihanna's song Work. More than half of its lyrics was composed in Caribbean Creole English, generating some sentences like In this song, Rihanna uses this structure to reaffirm her own origins, considering she's Barbadian. This is something already done by her before. For example, in her song Man Down, she lets her Caribbean accent clearer for the same purpose.
Even though there is some particular vocabulary related to Ebonics, it usually shares most of it with Standard English. So the first area where there are distinctions between Ebonics and Standard English is pronunciation. A common feature in Ebonics pronunciation is the omission of the letter R by the end of the words, therefore making a vowel sound instead of an R sound.
It can be noticed in Rihanna's and DJ Khaled's song Wildfire, in a verse in which Rihanna sings.
Just keep it white and black as if I'm your sister.
Another example of this structure is featured in another Rihanna song, Fresh Out the Runway.
Another pronunciation mark from Ebonics is the leading consonants B, D, and G in tense aspect markers or auxiliary verbs. In cases like they didn't do it, the verb didn't is turned into ain't, so the sentence becomes they ain't do it. In sentences like I'm going to do it, for example, becomes I'ma do it.
Nicki Minaj uses this structure in her song The Night is Too Young, where she raps, "Tonight is the night that I'ma get twisted," and on Katy Perry's song, in which Nicki features Swish Swish, which has on one of the rap verses the sentence, "I'ma be riding by."
Ebonics has a lot of deletion rules. It also happens when deleting the unstressed initial, for example in bowed, cuz, and freight.
You can notice this in SZA's song Broken Clocks, which contains a verse with the sentence, "Why still talking about me like we together?"
Why you still talking about me like we together?
Azealia Banks also uses this deletion in her song I Do Delilah, in the part she raps, "A child smiles at me 'cause I made a yarn."
Often need a child, smiles at me 'cause I made a yarn.
You must be wondering why these structures are considered part of Ebonics vocabulary when a lot of white people also use them, right? There's a study by Labov which states that sounding black has nothing to do with genetics or physiology, but rather influence from society and culture. So even though there are structures we talk about in this video that are used by white people's speech too, they originate from Ebonics.
When it comes to difference between Ebonics and Standard English, grammar is where you can notice more clearly. The first known structure in Ebonics grammar is them for plural. It can substitute the use of letter S, but usually the word is just placed before the plural to reinforce it.
This can be found in two Beyoncé songs, Partition and Formation. In the first one, it is present on the verse which says,
Over there, I swear I saw them cameras flash.
while in the second one, it is on the verse.
Another feature, and this one can be considered a mistake for people who don't know about Ebonics, is the absence of S in present tense verbs or third person singular. For example, instead of conjugation the verb as he doesn't, you would say he don't.
For this feature, there are examples in SZA's song Love Galore and Beyoncé's Jealous. In SZA's song, there is the verse,
However we want, love however we want, it don't matter.
whereas in Beyoncé's song, she said,
Ran into my ex, said what up to his besties.
One of the most common features in Ebonics grammar is the invariant be. What does that mean? Well, the verb to be is an irregular verb. Therefore, it has many forms. But in Ebonics, the verb does not change. It can be invariant or invariant habitual when talking about someone's habits.
Since it is a very common feature, you can see it in all kinds of speeches and definitely in lyrics too. In Rihanna's song Jump, it is present on the verse, I bet they be wondering why you always call my name. Beyoncé also used it in her speech a lot, so you can find it in her songs Drunk in Love and Flawless Remix.
The zero copula feature is also very productive in speeches from black people in USA. It means the absence of is and are in verb conjugation. Again, in Rihanna's Fresh Out the Runway, you can notice it in various verses, like he on it but don't kill her, or I bet you wanna know what my crew about.
I bet you wanna know what my crew about. You really want.
This zero copula feature also comes from Caribbean Creole English, which makes some linguists even more interested in studying similarities with Ebonics.
The last Ebonics feature we are going to approach in our video are the double or multiple negatives. Usually in the cases, the negative auxiliary appear before the subject. We notice this structure in songs from Rihanna, Beyoncé, SZA, and Nicki Minaj.
Tonight I'm staying out till tomorrow. Dancing on them tables, I ain't got no cares, no sorrows. All I got is these broken clouds. I ain't got no time. He in love with that cook. Why these bitches don't ever be learning? I'ma get it right on the first draft for you. Cause you ain't never had a woman like me, yeah.
So, this is some of the basic stuff we wanted to show you in our video. There's still so many rules and studies about Ebonics, whether in linguistic approach or the sociological approach, and it's a very rich area of study.
Because of the marginalized aspect of the dialect, we decided to talk about it, but related it to singers who talk this dialect and do it in a form of empowerment, being proud of it, and they should.
That's it for today. We hope you have enjoyed the video and maybe become more interested in researching for Ebonics or maybe another part of sociolinguistic studies. Thank you for watching!